Yeah.
I am super excited about this first podcast. So, what's up with you boys? How we doing today?
Oh, not bad, not bad. Working
Yeah.
hard, making a few dollars.
You work for the government. You don't work hard.
Hey, now's not a
Stop
good
that
time to be
lying.
saying that.
Let's be honest.
I've already sent in my proof that I worked.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got to say that because Trump or JD Vance or Elon Musk might be watching this video and going, "What?"
That's right. That's right. They'll get you out of there. Won't
Like,
they?
by the way, we didn't get your five bullet points last week, Mr. Kelly.
Exactly. Submitted and done. That's all you need to know.
Oh man, I try not to get too involved in the political stuff, but dude, I gotta say, man, kind of digging that whole Doge thing. I guess that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like something we
Department of
did in school. Doge ball.
No, they're shaking the
Slash-
tree for sure, but I think, like you said, there's got to be some stuff that's gonna fall out, and that's got to be good for us all.
Well, I'm just glad we're not funding transgender mice in Guyana right now, so that's a plus. So,
Yeah.
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 It's a little bit.
Trying to
anyway,
increase voting registration in India. Things that are all valuable to America.
right. Things that truly matter. Any hot topics this week?
Just the store.
Yeah. Got a 2-for-1.
Oh, you actually went.
Yeah. And look, if anybody met me in person, I know that this body doesn't shop at Hot Topics.
But you got girls, so you're allowed, right?
Yeah, that's it.
As much black as I wear, I might as well shop there. Dude, Hot Topic's known for like still carrying Gene Co jeans to this day. Which I don't know if you're old enough to even know what that is.
I am.
You are? Okay.
Yeah, I was there.
Well, I went to go buy me a suit at the outlet here locally last week, and apparently I walked by the Gap store, and apparently baggy bell bottoms are making a comeback now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look, I'm not that old. Okay. But never was a big fan of bell bottoms. Just, yeah.
But we can call them boot cut. They keep it a little safer for modern times.
I mean, if they
There's a difference
right,
between
sure.
boot cut and bell bottom. Bell
No,
bottom,
I know.
like, you don't even see the boot at all. Like, you don't see nothing.
Right? Is there a shoe underneath there?
Yeah.
Right. Kind of look like you're floating a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But no, these are the baggy ones. They're not the ones that fit at the top and bell bottoms. It's just kind of just bell. Like it just looks weird.
A lot of unnecessary material there to be wearing.
Yeah.
What size? It doesn't matter. Just so it.
Oh boy. Now, Jonathan, be honest. Did you ever rock the Jinkos?
I think I had a pair, but because they were on sale after the style was over, so generally my style equaled whatever was cheap and on sale. So everybody was done with it, and they were like, "Okay, we're getting rid of liquidating." I said, "Don't mind if I do." And so I think I had about 2 pair growing up.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean I could fit so many things in the pockets though, so it was really convenient for me. That was the CD player, Game Boy time, so I had a lot to put in there.
Dude, you could fit an entire Sega Genesis in your pocket in a Jinko.
Well, not the ones that I had. Mine were like the step that they were working toward normal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So not the Sega Genesis or the MacBook, but
definitely
CD player.
You could walk into the supermarket and leave out with about $500 of meat.
In today's market, maybe.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. They were pretty baggy, and they were actually known for that. I knew people that did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Look, growing up in the 80s, there was no such thing as wearing bell bottoms. We tried to force the bottom of the cuff of our pants as tight as it would get. I'm talking about tucked, rolled, and it was just you like a peg leg going down. So we had our Sebagos was a hot fashion topic. Our Van shoes, skating shoes, and the tighter you could roll that bottom of your jeans, fold it over on there was no flare whatsoever. And that was the look for a very long time. Matter of fact, I remember when, and you guys probably don't remember this at all. I know Jonathan, you probably won't, but wearing suspenders, but not wearing them, like you would let them hang down beside your pants.
Nerd.
That
What?
was the style, and Bugle Boy brand pants or clothing. That was the hot thing. And I remember I had multiple outfits with Bugle Boy pants, and even I told you about how we roll up our bottoms. The
Mm.
Bugle Boys came out with patterns inside of the bottom of the cuff of your
Oh.
pants, so when you rolled up, there was a nice pattern at the bottom.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was I love the 80s. I'm surprised that hasn't made a comeback yet.
Oh,
So-
just wait.
So Joe, here's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
God doesn't make mistakes. And so he knew better. He was like, Jonathan, I'm going to wait for you to be born a little while later until all that's done and over with, because you don't need to be a part of that. Just nobody needs to do
this
that.
is all a salvation issue.
Well, we'll bring Jonathan in a little bit later in the story.
Yeah.
You know, when things get normal again.
You know what it was? Is he knew how much you would like it and would probably never leave it. That's all. He's like, oh, still wearing the Bugle Boys, huh, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Still rocking them, baby.
I
Those
heard,
suspenders hanging out beside you. I mean, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I heard somebody say
Saved by
not
the
too
Bell
long-
and everything.
Yep.
I heard a comedian not too long ago talking about how disingenuous and how uncreative this modern I don't know, fashion world is or whatever right now. Like everything's just kind of a collage of all the other
Oh,
previous
absolutely.
fashions kind of put together. There's no new creativity, no, nothing.
Well, it's
Oh.
the same way with movies. They keep recreating all the movies.
Right.
They barely come out with anything new ever. It's like, oh, we're going to take this movie that did really good back in the 70s and 80s, and we're just going to redo it for no reason at all.
Yeah.
Or I'll do you one even better.
It is not going to be any good at all.
At all.
Yeah. And I'll do you one better there. Not only are we not going to come up with anything new, we've run out of the old stuff to do. So we're going to call it the universe, where everything can be multiverse. And it's a different version of the exact same thing. But if we tell it to you differently, now you have to like it because
Yep.
it's got the name and it's different. And you're like, that's not how that works, dude. People want to engage with the story. They want to go to school and quote it. We used to quote movies. Now how often do you quote movies anymore? How often do you go back and rewatch movies? Like almost never. There's definitely like a whole style of movies and TV shows that they're not the same. We don't quote stuff like The Office and like the Napoleon Dynamites and stuff. I don't know. We just don't have that same quotables anymore.
I know the one line from The Office I quote sometimes when we're just kidding around is Bears beat Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, the three B's. That's the Build Back Better for
Yep.
The Office.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, I agree with you, John. Now everything's just a copy of a copy of a copy, and then sprinkle some multiverse in there, and it's like, oh, this is great. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Well,
That's
you know
the
what's
only way
good,
that's the only way they can get 3 Spider-Mans in the same movie.
right?
Oh, this timeline wasn't the same timeline. This is 3 different timelines and 3 different universes, and
Yeah.
so now we can make a whole nother movie about it. Oh, okay, cool.
Well, it's the same thing with they're doing like they call it the recycle. We know that the original fork was always better than the recycled one later, made out of 95% recyclable goods. You're like, yeah, but it's bendy and it falls apart. I don't want this. It's like when you recycle stuff, it's never as good.
Yep.
Like clearly the first one wasn't good enough. They had to throw it away, right? Like, I don't care if it was an egg carton,
Right.
So speaking of topics, what about the Pope?
That was horrible.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Oh, no.
redo that. So speaking of topics,
On the
Well, we're on-
subject of topics.
Yes, while we're on the subject of topics, I
changing.
thought that I would bring in something completely different.
Seg
well.
and away.
This is going very well.
Yep. This is way good. I heard that the Pope's in the hospital, man.
Yeah.
What's going on with that? I heard that he died, and I heard he didn't die, and I heard that he saw demons, and then I don't know.
I did hear that one.
Yeah, I was like, what is happening here? So this is how we do this. We're going to transition from bell bottoms to the Pope.
Oh, and they have the bells at the churches.
There you go.
So I don't see the problem.
The
It
bells
makes
of
sense if you
Notre
don't
Dame right here.
Yeah.
I'm not an animal. But anyway.
So he admitted to speaking to demons. I mean, we've known he's been doing that for a long time, right?
Well, the difference was he wasn't speaking to them. They were apparently trying to drag him to hell.
Yeah.
He was actually fighting them off in the bed, is what the story goes.
You know,
So
I don't usually think that most of those stories have any validity to them. But you know what?
If there was ever a time.
How was he able to fight them off?
Well, supposedly they said that they ended up having to sedate him because he was just screaming and yelling
yeah.
and upset that these demons were coming to get him, and I
Mhm.
guess he wasn't ready for it. But you know what's crazy is he's in this in and out of he's in this in and out of life state. You know, they're like, oh, 1 minute he's good, 1 minute he's not. You know,
Mhm.
so it's curious even with the news cycle of what's even happening.
Well, y'all gonna have to fill me in on more of this because I don't know anything about this.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on with him?
That's
Like, what
about
was
it.
he?
They
Is he
said
sick? Like,
that he woke up, was screaming at the demons because they were trying to pull him to hell,
Well,
and
what's he in the hospital for in the first place?
I
Well,
think it was pneumonia or something, right?
yeah,
Related.
it was like a respiratory issue, and he said
Yeah.
he had trouble breathing, and so he was on a breathing tube, and there were some days where it was real iffy for him, I guess. But he said he was getting better, as with the last that I heard, and then today they said it's gone, it's regressed, and he's back to and having a breathing apparatus, and they said now it's a little more touch and go, I think.
I got something pulled up here. Here we go. Let's do this. Boom. Vatican
Go
News.
ahead and accept them cookies, Kyle.
I need no
Come
Pope
on, get them
cookies.
off the screen, bro.
No
Go
Pope
ahead,
cookies from me,
get you some, man. Get you a glass of milk.
bro. I don't even eat Girl Scout cookies anymore. You
I
know
heard
those
it. I heard
things
it in
are
their
like,
thin mints. Go ahead.
oh, dude, yeah, like the Girl Scout cookies are loaded with harmful chemicals. Like,
Oh, it doesn't
so
surprise me.
Yeah,
no, not
what's
And
not just
they put these cute little girls in front of you selling these cookies, making you feel guilty for not buying them. It's like,
right.
hey, will you buy my poison, please?
please?
It's like worse than the stuff that you find on the shelf in the grocery store. Like, it's horrible for
Well, they
you.
got to survive the cart that they drag around the neighborhood for 3 days outside without refrigeration.
Uh,
Great
I
point.
mean,
Great point. How is this chocolate not melting exactly?
right? It's been 3 days. You're outside. It's
yeah,
Texas.
yeah.
You'll be fine. Just eat
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie though, man. Throw some thin mints in the freezer and let it roll, son.
it.
Woo!
All right, so let's see what it says. Pope suffers 2 episodes of acute respiratory insufficiency. Bro, that sounds like some big words to say. He can't breathe.
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
Yeah.
Respiratory insufficiency. He was having trouble breathing.
Yeah. The
Hey,
inhale
Kyle, I
wasn't
would.
inhaling.
Hold on. Pope Francis has suffered 2 episodes of acute respiratory insufficiency caused by an accumulation of mucus. Yay. Which was aspirated both times, according to the Holy See press office. Okay, and it goes on to say,
Hmm.
2 bronchoscopes, non-invasive mechanical ventilation was resumed. Da 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 da. Okay, so
So do you think he got attacked by the blob,
yes,
the mucus monster?
I think it probably has something to do with that door that he opened up.
Dude, honestly, that was kind of weird.
You don't
Wait,
lie.
isn't he supposed to be the last pope?
Yeah,
So
Right,
that's
that's
what
what
it
all the
says.
prophets say, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
All these YouTube prophets.
Well, if he keeps opening up the gates of hell, he probably will be the last last pope.
See, shouldn't have opened that door. Now they're trying to drag you
Yeah.
down.
Now the demons are showing him, hey, you called us. We're
Right.
here.
You let us out.
Yeah.
Well, what's even better is, this year he's 88, and so it reminds me back, Joe's always making fun of how not old I am, but I'm enjoying the young body. But that old prophecy, 88 reasons why Jesus is coming back in 88, and he's 88 years old. I was like,
Mhm.
hey, look, we're playing with some numbers
Mm-mm,
here.
mm-mm. All right, let's see. Hang on. I think maybe this is newer. Let's see. Pope Francis' condition suffered a sudden worsening Friday afternoon after an isolated crisis of bronchospasm. The
Mm.
Vatican later said this crisis was over and that he was resting in good spirits. Oh,
Well, there's
so
that spirits.
yeah, no longer bad spirits. We got the good
Yeah.
ones there now, apparently.
Yeah. They're still just lying to him. No, we're the good guys. Don't worry. Just lay there and be still.
Right.
Why is everybody so tall and white? It's the lab coats. Shh.
Oh goodness, man, I don't even know what to say about this.
So what about when they like put the light in your eyes, to make sure you can follow it, and they're like, "Don't go to the light," and so he's like, "That's why he keeps failing the test."
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the light.
Mm,
That being
mm,
said,
mm.
that's not funny. I mean, I'm not. I definitely don't want anything to happen to him. I hope he lives his full life as long as he's supposed to be here and has an opportunity to do some good in his life. But yeah, it is just
That
crazy to see.
opportunity's running out.
Exactly. Somebody of that renown and that, big, we don't hear anything about a second in command. They haven't had those talks yet. So it's just, man, what's going on? Because he's the one who's been pushing the Chrislam. He's the one who's been talking about unifying all the religions.
Exactly.
What does that mean for him? And then like anything going forward, like this is some pretty big stuff for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah. Well, he's also behind Jonathan. He's behind the whole Sunday law that they're trying to formulate and push down the road as well. So it's like yeah.
What's the Sunday law where we all get ice cream on Sunday?
That would be fantastic. That'd be like, hey, mandatory every Sunday ice cream day. Yeah.
Mm.
well, see now I
Doubles.
don't. Explain to me how they're going to make this work. So we've got the Catholic side that's trying to push the Sunday law thing, right?
Mhm.
And then we've got the cabal or whatever you want to call it that's kind of pushing the idea of the what's it called?
The Noahide.
Noahide. There you go. The
Mhm.
Yeah.
Noahide laws, and they keep Friday at sundown to Saturday at sundown Sabbath.
Hmm.
So
That's why you have to mix them all together, right? It's
Right.
all about mixing, because the Bible loves mixing. That's
Yeah.
full
well,
of good mixing.
that's hilarious. The middle of those two would be Saturday.
Right. Surprise.
Yeah.
I doubt they're going to go to what's right though.
Mm.
Um,
It'd be
I
too
don't know.
easy.
I don't know. So yeah, how do we make that work? How do those two? Which one is above the other? Which one is the higher authority
Ooh.
in the world of Babylon, in the world of all of that? Uh, which one is above the other?
Well, I think in the world, Sunday definitely has the bigger pool, the bigger
Sure, but
population behind it.
which side
So
has the bigger authority? Which one rules over
The
the other?
Roman Catholic Church does. It's the
yeah,
one
You
that's
think?
spearheading this whole thing. Yeah.
yeah. Look across the
But
world.
did
You've
did
got
you ever
Catholic Church
see?
everywhere.
Listen, did you ever see an Islam person out there pushing for one world religion? No, because if you don't believe in their religion,
No, I'm not talking about Islam.
which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about
The
the ones
neighbor.
that are trying to push the Noahide laws.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You talking about between the Noahide law people and the Catholic people?
Uh-huh.
It's the same duck.
Mm.
Again, it's
That's
all
my opinion.
Babylon.
It's the same. It's the same bird.
I get it. I get it. I get it. Same bird, different wings. I
That's
understand
it,
that. It's
man.
all Babylon. I get that. But my point is, if one is pushing for the Noahide, which is going to have a day of worship on what they believe to be the Sabbath, and the other is pushing for a Sunday law,
Right.
who's going to win out on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
why it's an
Probably the
epic
one the
battle.
beast. Probably the one the beast gives his authority to, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I haven't heard anybody, as far as the things that I've researched about the Sunday law, I haven't heard anybody else giving kickback about it. They're like, so I don't know. For the sake of unity,
Honestly, I think just I wanted to hear what y'all's opinions were, but I think probably I think the Sunday law is probably going to be more along the lines because I don't think the Noahide. I think the Noahide laws is going to apply for everyone's going to have to obey them. But as far as keeping the Sabbath, I don't think that that's something that they're really going to care that the quote unquote Goyim or Gentiles really have to do. So we're going to give them this day, and this is what they're going to do for their stuff. But everything
Right.
else, they're going to keep the way that we do it, kind of
Right.
thing.
It's almost like there's a degree of separation, and it makes it allows for a little bit of elitism. Like, hey, we want to be in charge, so how do we do that? How do we keep ourselves separate? Well, we'll do our stuff different, and then you're gonna have that kind of infighting, that behind the scenes of like who's winning, and like it's there's an unending battle there, right? It's been raging since the beginning of time. Of do we do what God says? Do we do what the Bible says, or do we do what man says? And in our world today, right, we've set it up perfectly. We're like, hey guys, watch this. We're gonna have this thing called a weekend where we have 2 days off. So whichever one they choose was a day we had off anyway. It's not like we only had 1 day a week off and now we have to figure out what to do. It's hey, both days are off, so both are fine. Why not? Why rock the boat? Both will work.
Why
Yeah.
not? Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Yep.
Yeah, so the Pope being in the hospital, like what I find interesting about that is, of course, it's going to make headline news, but it's not really going anywhere. I think they're like really being silent on if, when, how. There's nothing else. Normally, like if you see a world leader in any kind of struggle, they're already talking about secession. They're talking about getting ready to do their autobiography, all this kind of. Well, I guess it wouldn't be auto anymore. It would just be biography. But they're like really leaning into something. And this one, they've just been real. Let's hide this whole conversation. Don't worry about it. No big deal. Just we'll give you a small health update and that's it. I wonder what's going on behind that.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how to even reply to that. Joe, did you have anything on that?
As far as the Pope goes,
Yeah, well, why is everything kind of hush hush? You think?
well, I mean, you look at how important he is, and let's be honest. If this is really the deal here, where he is going to be the last Pope, no, we don't know that for sure. That's what we've been told.
Right.
If something was to happen to him right now, it may set things into motion one way or the other. So it's like one of those things where it's like I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to figure out that game that's being played.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's being for real, that they're kind of downplaying and go, oh, he's okay. He's had a little bit of breathing problems too. He's fighting off demons coming at him into bed. It's like some weird stuff.
Yeah.
And he is the catalyst right now of all the things that we just talked about. The Catholic Church is the one pushing for the one world religion, pushing for the Sunday law, pushing for unity of everything, pushing for unity of every person out there, no matter who you are. So I'm gonna say they're pushing for all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the main guy. So I think some of that is they don't want any of their plans to be disrupted by, oh, by the way, he's a lot worse than what we thought.
Right.
Because then it feels like everything kind of pulls back for a minute, going waiting. Where I'm sure that this agenda is wanting to be pushed forward, and we don't want it to stop. We want to keep everything going exactly the way that it needs to be. So there's so many different possibilities.
I just don't understand how the guy who has the title, he's supposedly the vicar of Christ, right? Like he's supposedly the embodiment, the physical living embodiment of Messiah on earth right now. That guy is supposedly being dragged to hell by demons and having to fight them off.
Mm.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
Like if that's the main dude for that religion and he's struggling that bad,
Mm-hmm.
what God do you really serve?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how is this not a huge awakening for the Catholic Church as a whole right now?
Huge.
That's a great point.
Well, think about this. If let's say he does pull through this, the next week or so, he comes out, gives a big speech about it. Talks about, maybe brings up the fact that demons showed up, and because of who he is, they're like, oh, I fought them and they were, not even a thing. It's like all of a sudden it's like he's glorifying the fact that he is the vicar of Christ. You know what I'm saying? It's like it could be one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, they
How'd
showed
he get
up
sick in the
and
first place?
I Rocky Balboa them and get out of here,
How'd he get
and
sick in the
he's
first
all
place,
good.
though?
What's that?
I said, how'd he get sick in the first place, though?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely weird. I mean, could you imagine reading through like the Bible and like reading about Jesus Yeshua? He's like struggling, like, oh no, the guy had a demon at the synagogue. What do I do? I don't have enough power. If I pray hard enough, if I get some holy oil or holy water, I might be able to deal with this. He's just like, nah, get out of here. I'm done. Next.
There was so much persecution going on, but Jesus was tucked away in his sukkah for 2 weeks with the flu, Could you imagine?
Got
So
the
sad.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
not gonna work.
Well, speaking of the speaking of the Pope and the bronchial infection, whatever scientific terminology stuff they use there, have you guys heard about all the people? Like, I'm sure you guys have noticed it there. I've noticed it here where I'm at, but like this fog,
Mm.
this weird fog that we've had for the last several months, it comes in occasionally, and it's
Hmm.
got these really big particles in them. Have y'all noticed that there?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've noticed that every night that's happened is generally an evening thing, right? Every time that's happened, the next day I have this like ridiculous sinus allergy thing going on for the next
Hmm.
day or 2 days. But I notice a lot of people getting sick around that time frame, and there's been a lot of talk on all the social medias out there, all the Insta books and the Snapgrams and all that stuff that's
Is
out
that a
there.
cereal?
Yeah. Um, but there's been a lot of talk about that. I didn't know if you guys had heard anything about that, the fog and people getting sick and having respiratory issues. Y'all heard
The
anything
fog.
about
That
that?
sounds like a movie, Kyle.
I think it
The
was.
fog, the
Wasn't
fog, or
it?
the
See, now
mist, or
they're
what
The
now
is
they're
it?
now
mist.
they're
That's what
they're,
it
they're they're
was.
so desperate is they're bringing the real fog that's getting everybody sick.
Well, they say it's supposedly it's said that they tell you everything before they do it. You know,
Mm.
it's how they absolve themselves of their sins is by putting it in your face.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting.
I personally got sick the first time it rolled through. Before I even knew it was a thing. I walked outside. My son was just getting home and opened up the back door. And I'm like, wow, this is like wasn't expecting to have fog. And the next day, I just felt my health going down. Got sick for a few days, and yeah, so it's definitely a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like I say, correlation or causation. Of course, we're gonna have to play that game, but yeah, same thing. I got sick, major headache. I'm sure Pastor Joe,
Hmm.
you remember, felt like my eye was about to pop out of my head. I was like,
Yep.
what is going on? And you start reading on the internet, and you're like, what is this? They're like, that's not normal. And then like everybody's at the same time writing about the same stuff, like, all
Right,
Hmm.
over. And I was
right.
like, all right, well, wait, hold
There's
on. This
just a
isn't a normal
coincidence.
thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, what are the chances? And then we live where we live. There's a lot of fog, and so you're crossing some of the bridges and you're like, and you get that whiteout fog where you can't see anything. That's dense. It already has a weird feel to it anyway. So then, yeah, if there's something bad in it or something nefarious, like, that's
Right.
crazy. That is off the wall.
There was a video that somebody put out. I wish I had it to pull up. I can't remember if I remembered what it was, and I'll try to pull it up while we're talking here, but see if I can find it. But there was a video that somebody put out where they were actually able to like sample it,
Mm,
and I don't even remember what they said was in it, but there was some funky stuff in it. Not good. I remember that.
hmm
Now the validity of it, the validity
right.
words, I don't know, but
Or was it just a locally isolated thing, like they're near a factory and that was what was blowing out? That's why it's so hard, because this is a major, at least in the U.S., major event all across the whole United States. You're like, how do you test that? And how do you
right.
verify it? And even if you did, how do you know the results you get back or anything that you expected them to come back? There's just so many in our world today. With all the faking and all the AI and like, you
Hmm.
you got to test everything. Honestly, you really have to go and like, dude, like pray about it. There's few answers in the world, and we're just trying to find them.
Do y'all know of any kind of biblical prophecy or um, warnings or woes or anything like that that has any kind of something that we could relate to that kind of thing, or specifically maybe just the air quality in general? I can't think of
I
anything.
can't
Yeah,
think of anything linked biblically to that specifically, but
I mean, there's definitely some. We talk about the four horsemen, and the one was like pestilence, which is like sickness, and that one was like green,
Mhm.
that greenish white, milky white kind of color or whatever it was. So
That's what
there's
comes
a
out when that comes out of your sinus cavity.
oh yeah, for sure. You always make sure to look whenever you finish.
Oh yeah.
Got to. Yeah, see how big it was.
Right? Did I get the whole thing
And
out?
you want to show everybody, look at this.
No, no, not that.
Dude, I got to tell y'all this. My grandmother on my mom's side, she would blow her nose when she got older in age or whatever. She had this sinus thing that she was constantly blowing her nose, and she was the funniest thing, man. She would sometimes she'd blow her nose, and I'm sure she just forgot that she would tell you this already, but it was funny every time she said it. But she'd blow her nose, and she had to do it in front of other people just to make him laugh. She'd say, "Whew, if it wasn't so much, I'd have thought it was my brains," and oh, bless her heart.
Oh,
It was good stuff, man. So
Yeah, the only other
anyway,
thing that would pop up would be something like, the old school term like the fog of war. Like the fog is fighting
mhm.
you. But obviously that's more of like that, the early morning you're about to go out and fight, and get that fog out there. But yeah, it's just definitely an interesting, like, what is going on.
yeah,
Time will tell.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, we had I got a buddy that works at a local restaurant out here, and he's been sick. Like we had one of those fogs come in, and he's been sick. I want to say for like 5 or 6 weeks now,
Mm,
and just kind of just bad off. Um, just drained physically,
Mhm.
feeling blah, kind of kind of almost flu-like symptoms, but not really. And anyway, apparently he's not very up to speed on things as far as um, news and that sort of stuff. So yeah, his doctor recommended that he go get the next COVID shot,
of course.
the flu shot, and
Double
the
up.
pneumonia shot.
But they have a shot for that?
Apparently they do.
Okay.
And so I saw him yesterday, and he's having a hard time just moving around right now.
Mhm.
Mm,
Stand, standing up and walking down the hall is a struggle for him right now.
wow.
And he was nowhere near that bad a shape. And I told him, I said, man, I hope you don't ever do this mess again. He's like, oh, you can bet I won't be taking any more of those shots. I'm like, good. I'm just, I had to stop and pray for him, man, because it was. I hate it when people are uneducated about stuff, and they just go and do stuff that they really should not do.
Right.
So,
Well, and
but hey, we all do.
yeah, exactly. And we do our best with what we know. And there's a long time where we live in ignorance. But when we go back and we understand that food is medicine, health is medicine, being outside, sunlight, fresh air, oxygen, like all the things that God created from day one and told us that it was good to begin with, and we keep ignoring and pretend like it doesn't matter. And he's like, when you get back to that, when you have some basics in your life, all of a sudden you're like, I
Mhm.
didn't realize that I'm getting better. And it's mostly simple. Now, by no means am I saying if you have a problem and you're going to the doctor, you shouldn't. Obviously, do what you're supposed to do with the doctor and listen to your healthcare provider if you need to. But, I'm trying to handle the business from the food aspect.
It just blows my mind. You brought up the going out in the sunshine and all that stuff. It just blows my mind how they used to drill in our heads in the 80s and
Mhm.
90s big time about you need to get out of the sun because it's going to cause skin cancer,
Right.
right? So what do? They start selling us all these products to cover up our skin that give you cancer.
Mhm.
And in addition to that, people stay indoors a lot more, especially with computers and all the options on TV and cell phones and everything, video games, all that. People are staying inside a lot more, and now we're getting all this blue light, which is damaging our eyes and all kind of other stuff. Not getting any of that natural stuff
Hmm.
that's out there. And what are we seeing an increase in? All kinds of cancers and everything else.
Well,
Trust
how
the
else am I
science,
supposed to
people.
get this awesome complexion without being out in the sun?
Exactly, exactly. Like I cannot. I promise y'all guys, I have a nice looking skin tone, but you will never see it in this room in here. I don't know why. I cannot get my lighting right. So I'm either I'm either hyper white or yellow or or orange.
Mm.
I can't
So-
get it right in here.
Sounds like we went to the paint section at Home Depot.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Well, the sad part is, guys, is everything's come down to a shot to make you better.
Mm.
So it's not
Mm-hmm.
about what you're eating. It's not about getting enough sunlight, getting vitamin D. It's not about going outside and just taking your shoes off and grounding. Okay. It's not about
Oh, that's
anything that
amazing.
God has given us, but they'll say, but if you just take this shot, your life will be so much better. So it's
Mm-hmm.
all literally come down to a syringe and whatever that clear liquid is in there that's going to make your life that much better. And guess what? It ain't making anybody's life any better.
Mm.
They actually do not make any claims that any. First of all, they have a qualification for something to be called a medicine, right?
Right.
Hmm.
That is a legal term right? So you can't claim something as medicine that doesn't fall under that legal term for the sake of legal purposes. Um, it has to be essentially like a synthetic. It has to be a man-made something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and they can make no claims of curing anything
Right.
because they don't. I don't want a pill for my ill and I want something to fix my problem,
Right.
not not remove the symptoms. Let's not take away the warning light and cause three other issues.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get rid of the problem. But
Well,
no,
here's a better one for you. Okay, so we take all these flu shots, and then through research, different people have come forward saying, by the way, when you're having what we call the quote unquote flu symptoms, it's not really what we've been told. It's actually your body detoxing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not even a virus that's inside of you that's causing you to have this fever and to go through all this stuff. It's actually how God designed your body because of all the toxins we get exposed to on a daily basis.
trying to
At
get
some
me with
point, it builds up in your body, and then God designs says, "Hey, this is too much. So now we got to get it out. And the only way we can get out is what? We need to sweat it out.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what happens? You lose your appetite. So God will it manually will put you into a fasting mode
Yep.
Manually.
to make you seriously. And then
off.
so what do? We take medicine. Your fever produces more white blood cells to fight the infection. So what do? Oh no! Oh, your fever is 101. Poor baby. Take this medicine to lower your fever.
Mm.
Now you've just prolonged your healing because your body's not doing what God designed it to do.
Mm.
You know, all these things that they give us for medicine to take away your symptoms, to take away all this other stuff. What you're actually doing is they're blocking your body's ability to do what it was supposed to do. On top of that, they're lying to us, telling us, oh, it's this virus. And so we're going to give you a shot that has the virus in it. I don't know what they're giving you when you get the virus shot. But if
The
what we've been
virus.
told, yeah, not good stuff, that's for sure. But if what we're experiencing is simply this is the way God designed your body to work. Hey, we get personal. Uh, the thing about diarrhea, people as soon as you get diarrhea, what do they do?
They go to the bathroom.
I know,
Yeah.
but what's the first thing you want to do? I want to stop it,
Yeah.
and it's actually your body's way of whatever's inside of you.
Good point.
And your body's saying, hey, this is not good and we need to it's going to be inconvenient. It's going to hit you any place at
Inconvenient.
any time.
Okay.
And you're like, man, if I don't get to the house in about 30 seconds, that's just a wrap. Okay. But what's
You know why I pulled
what's
you
the
over?
first thing we're
Yes,
going to
officer.
do? I'm going to take some Imodium AD. I'm going to take some Pepto. What I'm going to do is stop my body from doing what God designed to do, and that's to purge out all the bad stuff.
That's a
Right.
great
And
point.
see, and we're told through medicine, oh no, you poor baby. That's a horrible thing to experience. And what you need to do is go ahead and let it run its natural course.
Yeah.
Let it and drink plenty of liquids, get your sodium, all that potassium, make sure you're staying hydrated, and let your body do what it was designed. This is why we're so sick, because we actually lock in all the toxins in our bodies. As soon as we start feeling a little bit of a fever, we start getting a little bit whatever. It's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, I need to run to the medicine cabinet, or I've got to run to the doctor and get a pill.
Right.
Right.
And we're not allowing our bodies to actually detox and get all this stuff out that needs to come out. So
Sometimes we just need to deal with the pain a little bit.
sometimes you just got to deal with it.
Well, yeah, and like when you look at a cold, for instance, it's already guaranteed you're going to be sick for 7 days.
Yeah.
It's 5 to 7 days, 5 to 9. Pick
Yeah.
pick your poison there, but you're going to be sick for a little bit, and you just are going to be sick for a little bit. You can take whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, but you're going to be sick for those many days. It might be a little more bearable, a little more tolerable. And I understand we got to do what we got to do sometimes. You got to get up and go to work, and you can't be walking to work with the tissues up your nose and snotting all over the place. I get it, but at the same time, like Pastor Joe was saying, your body's trying to get stuff out of you. So, when you take the decongestion and the mucus dryer up pills, whatever it's called, Mucinex, You're like, no, that's your body saying get it out. It is it
Right.
does
Mm-hmm.
when you're just naturally in your most healthy state, does your body just start snotting all over the place? No, because you're fine. Everything inside needs to stay
Unless
inside.
unless you're me and Kyle, and this happens on a 24-hour basis.
I'm
But
allergic to the outside a lot.
yeah, I'm allergic to life. No, but whenever you look at it, it's like those days whenever it's different, you're like, oh, there's a lot of this today. You know what that means? There's a lot of stuff inside of you that your body's working through and trying to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you dry it up, and you're like, no, leave it in there. No, this is great. No problem at
Right.
all. We wouldn't do that with anything else. We wouldn't drink water and bugs flying in and be like, nah, just leave it in there, put a lid on it so you don't have to see it. We'd go
Right.
and strain it and scoop it out. Our brains know what to do. But when we do it to our bodies, we're like, mm-mm.
That's really good, Jonathan. That's kind of crazy because we're kind of going against God's will, His will, and the perfect design He had for our bodies to be able to purge this stuff. And when we go in there and intentionally shut that down from doing what it's supposed to be doing, man, we're going against God's will in that. I've never really thought about it like that. That's
Mhm.
kind of crazy.
And think about, Kyle, how many cancers may be eliminated out of your body if your body was actually to do what it was designed to do.
If it could just purge.
I mean, all of
Man,
us,
that's wild.
I know all three of us have studied and looked into fasting, the benefits of fasting, how
Yep.
your body after a 72-hour fast will actually start to eat cancer cells and reset itself. Then again, when you have the flu or
Yep.
certain type of illnesses and you're like, man, I'm just not hungry. And it's like, that's your body saying, hey, you need to stop eating. We need to get out of whatever's in here and just sweat it out, whatever else out. And this needs to go. But then when we're taking all these medicines to mask over the symptoms, let's say some of that stays in there after a while. Could you guys think that could be the reason why certain cancers pop up and stuff? Because you got things inside your body that's like, hey, this should have been out a long time ago, but it's just been put off to the side. And
Well, I got one for you. Like, what about side effects? Right? Because I hear that word and I'm like, it almost sounds like, oh, well, it's just a byproduct, no big deal. No, they're not side effects in my mind. They're just effects. You're being poisoned. You're taking something that your body's saying, this is bad, and here's the result of the bad thing you just did. I don't that marketing term of, here's the thing that's good, and the inconvenience of all this list of 100 things at the end of the commercial. It might happen. I don't know, but your one problem will go away. Now, again, like I'm saying, there's certain things we know in this modern world. We have modern medicine. We might need that stuff. That helps us to live, survive, get through some tough days. I'm not saying, go cold turkey and suffer the consequences. But we do have to be a little more mindful of what we're doing. Like medicines and different like ailment treatments, side effects aren't side effects. They're just, this is what the problem is with what you just did. Yes, you solved one problem, but you added more problems. Like, I don't know. That word always throws me for a loop.
Yeah, it's hilarious that they call these side effects. I agree with you. Like, one of those side effects can be up to and including death.
Right.
No big deal.
Side effect. No, that's a pretty permanent, all the time, definite effect,
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's bad is when you see a medication that's supposed to be for people suffering from mental illnesses, and one of the side effects is suicide.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, that's supposed to be helping you.
Yeah. Are we
It's
supposed
like,
to be stopping this?
Yeah.
All right, story time. Joe,
All right.
you brought it up. You opened up the diarrhea conversation. So
Here we go.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
Can we get a diorama of it? A diagram of it?
No.
Okay.
That would be disgusting. So I had a buddy. He was going
True
quite
Thoughts
fast.
with Kyle Barfield.
He was going quite fast on the way home. He got pulled over, and
he didn't need to pull over. He needed to pull up.
Well,
need to step out.
Beat me to the punchline.
Oh boy!
So cop pulls him over, and he's just
sweating,
stone faced, just absolutely humiliated. Cop pulls up, and he's like, "Why were you going so fast?" or whatever. He goes, "I was trying to get home in time to go to the bathroom." He says, "I've heard that excuse so many." Oh my God! Go!
Shower immediately. Government issued showers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fantastic. We laughed at him a long time for that one. So
Oh, poor guy.
he thought it was funny once he got cleaned up, but
No, that's not funny
Yeah,
ever.
that's
Yeah, there's never a day.
no.
he's like, I didn't get a ticket.
No, I'll be in heaven with my angel wings, and it's still not funny. I'm like, no, that was terrible.
Now, Jonathan, you never know. It might be in the millennial and be like, you know what? All of a sudden, that hits you in the middle of something serious in the heavens, and you just start laughing for no reason.
I still
Sheesh.
think the rapture's going to happen while I'm on the toilet. I just know it. Feet lifted up.
Now's not the best time.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Hey, I got a question. Being as we're kind of on the subject of health and all that kind of good stuff, you know, a lot of believers are kind of recognizing that they need to take their health more seriously, right?
Right.
And so they're getting involved with all kind of various things. And I mean, my goodness, there's so many offshoots of this we could discuss. Everything from essential oils and whether that's of Yah or whether that's some form of sorcery and root cutting and that sort of things. I mean, that could be kind of neat. But I mean, it's something I was thinking about. So we have here at the house, we do various stretching exercises and things like that, keep our bodies limber, and we
Stretching your patience.
yes, that happens often. Lift some weights, you know, do the rowing machine, stuff like that. But it took a little while for us to get, you know, certain things out of our language, you know, the foam mats that you lay on to stretch and pop you back and all that kind of good stuff. Chiropractic care, that's another thing we could discuss, you know, whether there's any issues we need to be concerned about with that sort of stuff. But yoga, you know, that's a full-on religion. Like that's a complete religious practice, that whole aspect of that thing. So there is no such thing as Christian yoga. But that's a pretty big thing in the church nowadays. Like there's churches that have groups that do that, come in and do quote unquote Christian yoga.
Right.
And you know, it took us a while to get the word yoga mat out of our vocabulary because, you know, we had this foam mat, you know, we had to learn to call it a foam mat.
Yeah, yoga pants.
Yoga pant.
You can call it a foam mat, or you can call it, you know, bread from Subway. It's about the same thing. So
same consistency, same taste now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, the church is sitting there like, "Now I'm gonna stay," and I'm like, "Nah, I'm gonna leave."
I'm gonna leave. That's right. I'm out. Oh, too good. I don't know. I guess I was curious what you guys had to say about any of that stuff. Like, has any of that been an issue with you guys trying to change your language of certain things, or
well,
there
first
been
of all,
practices y'all have had to get rid of out of your life, health wise, or anything else?
Look, man. First of all, I don't stretch, so there's no nothing here. So that word never even comes to my thought process whatsoever. But you know, yeah, I know as far as health, I'll just say for me personally, I've lost 26 pounds so far. So, and so I'm proud of myself on that and maintaining, and hopefully lose more. But you know, when it comes to our health, sometimes I think when we're younger, we don't really think about our health a whole lot. We think, hey, I'm 7 foot tall, I'm bulletproof, and we don't really think
When did you
about
get to
all
be
the
7
things.
foot?
What's that?
So when did you get 7 foot?
Yeah, I shrunk with old age. But you know, now I just turned 54 in January, and my thoughts were I need to start taking better care of myself. And I've lifted weights for forever and a day. I've power lifted for a long time, and now it's for me it's a transition. I'm a little bit more mindful, a little more thoughtful, a little bit more like.
So you're transitioning.
Yeah. So you know, for me, it's been about huh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know you're being funny. I'm just ignoring you, but that's how we do it. That's how I just like. I've been married 31 years, so I just learned how to just tune everything out. I got 3 grown kids. I learned how to tune everything out. Just keep on going, man. Don't look back. No, but anyway, so for me, it's been about parasites, and I never thought about parasites, but I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So then been doing the parasite cleanse, been watching what I'm eating, and less sugars, all that stuff. So like I said, I'm down 26 pounds.
We will not be
My
showing you a picture.
clarity of mind is so much more now that I've done the parasite cleanse, and I'll continue. And again, it's not one of those things you do at one time and you're good. We are constantly being bombarded with things that create
Oh, yeah.
parasites in our bodies, and
Mm.
so for me, it's going to be the rest of my life. I'm going to be doing a maintenance to continue to do that maintenance to keep the parasites out or away or whatever. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I think it's a matter of age, because not all young people are thinking, oh, that's whatever. And then when you get to a certain age, you're like, I think I might want to start doing better. Maybe my knees will feel a lot better if I can drop about 50 pounds. Might get
Well,
around a little bit more easy.
now that you brought it up, with all this talk about the Pope being dragged to hell from demons, and you
You're going to
dealing with
segue from me?
yeah, you dealing with parasites. Don't you know that? Don't you know that parasites are demons?
Yeah.
Y'all have heard about that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'll be
What?
honest with you. When you see one of those things under a microscope, you're like, nah, if
It's not pretty.
that might be what a demon is. They some horrible looking creatures living in our bodies.
They
Yeah.
are bad. Well, what's y'all's take on the whole idea that they are in fact demons? Like
So,
there's some people that think that they really are, that these
Mhm.
parasites are worms that are in our bodies, are legitimately demons.
Right. Yeah, I think, like, where it's silly, to me at least a little bit, is we know that demons are disembodied spirits, right? And they're looking
Right.
for a host. Now, the crazy part is, what is a parasite looking for? A host.
A
So
host.
it's very similar in language. It kind of makes you scratch your beard if you have one, or at least rub your chin if you don't. And it's an interesting thought. Like, I'm kind of like, when you go home and think about it, you're like, no, that can't be the case. But at the end of the day, what are we called to be? Sober minded, right? And so if you have something in your body that's forcing you to eat sugar, or forcing you to not sleep properly, or forcing your body to, like, react to certain things, you know, there's some other aspects that may not be demon related, but that's, causing you to not be the human that God designed. It's causing you not to be the best person you can be for your ministry, for your family, for just your life calling. And so I kind of take more of that approach. I don't tend to jump down the super conspiracy trails on every single thing. But
It's
are they
so
demons or
fun.
not? There's no way we would know that. It's not like we can pull one out and interrogate it. But at the same time, we got to know that we have to stay sober minded. We have to take care of our health, and we have to understand that God's put us here for a mission. And if we can't complete that mission, or we have stuff that's pulling us away from it, we should probably work on that and remove it. We would do that with anything else. This is no different.
Well, I just had an idea. I know my head's big enough; it can't explode. It would be bad for all of
Well,
Connersville out here.
it would spill over on my screen and Kyle's
Yeah,
screen.
yes, it would. It'd probably hit Kyle in Georgia. I just thought about this. So, what are pigs full of?
Parasites.
Bacon. Oh,
Trichinella worm.
No.
trichinosis.
Yes,
Ugh.
they're full of parasites. That's a very highly parasitic animal.
Yeah,
And
maxed
so,
out.
what did the demons want to be put into?
The
Right.
swine.
Right.
They
So if
thought that would be a fitting host.
I'm being funny, but at the same time, I'm saying, well, there's a connection, because if this man was full of these demons, legion,
Mm,
which is a lot, and all of a sudden they're like, put us into pigs because we'll survive there better. It's like,
yeah,
so
it's a
you know,
natural habitat. We're real
I'm being a little
comfortable
bit
over there.
funny, but it just made me think about the correlation between how pigs are very unclean animals. Well, they're
Mm,
designed to be that way. God designed them to be unclean. So it's not the pig's fault. God said, "Hey, you're my garbage disposal. You're supposed to be able to eat poison and not die,
Right.
so that everybody else around you can live a clean life. You're unfortunately going to be the carrier of all diseases."
Well,
Yeah, I
thank
mean,
you, Wilbur.
a
Yeah,
good municipality has a good trash service, right? That comes by and picks up your trash and hauls it off.
that's it. Same thing.
That's what the pigs do.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
know.
dinner
But I thought
scraps.
about that.
Ugh.
Parasites were demons, and the demons asked to be put into a pig is full of parasites. Yeah. So
They're like, we're going back home tour.
Oh man.
yeah, they're singing that song, "I'm on my way home, sweet home."
They I've heard it said before that that cannibals call humans when they were asked, what they taste like or whatever.
Mhm.
That they call human flesh long pig.
Mhm.
And I've also heard that that the type of pig that is typically farmed is, this is really fringe here, but it's potentially some kind of wild boar human hybrid. And that's why they're able to, clone all these body parts onto swine's flesh for humans, where they're able to grow ears and stuff like that.
Well,
Same thing with
think
mice.
about what the valves for the hearts are using
Right.
pig valve, or they used to use that primarily was pig valves.
Yeah. They
They're
said
like,
it was
these look the
very,
same.
very, yeah, they look the same. Yeah.
Uh,
This work.
Speaking of looking the same, if you
Is
look
that how they do it?
Yeah, just plug it in. Yeah.
if you look
It's a
at
USB.
an embryo of a pig,
Mm-hmm.
when it's at a certain point of I guess it's called gestation. Is that what it's called during the period of growth?
Yeah.
That is a
That
part.
it
Yeah.
looks just like a human. Before, like, it actually looks like a human baby right before the hoofs. It actually looks like it has hands. Then the hands go in like this as it's growing and resembles hoofs. But there was a study they were doing. They were showing people pictures of this, and they're going, and everyone thought it was a human baby.
Mm.
And then they said, okay, here's so many weeks out, and all of a sudden you saw the little fingers actually go in like this. And all of a sudden, this went from looking human to all of a sudden growing a snout. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize, just how similar we look at those certain stages of growth as a little, yeah.
Is that what the penguin was actually supposed to be?
Oh my goodness.
A little Batman reference there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. That was a good one.
So, but it is very interesting when it comes to that. So,
well, you seen the one picture they put on the internet where they had Kim Kardashian in the penguin suit?
Oh no.
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 It was internet gold.
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Was she full on like fingers?
No, they just the way he was shaped, and then so they just threw her in there, and I was like, hey, look, it's the same thing.
Oh. was it like Danny DeVito penguin?
Yes.
That's a scary penguin, man.
I know. I was like, ugh. Well, the big rubber ducky didn't make any sense. I loved it, but I was like, what's going on here? How do you get a big ducky that big?
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome. I kind of want one.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
who didn't want one of those ducks?
Minus the sewer part. We could leave that behind.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was land and water, right?
I don't think it ever went on land. I don't know. You might be right.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah. That's a future Jonathan problem.
All I gotta say about these parasites, bro, is if a parasite is a demon, I don't know that I actually want to be present when someone has them cast out. Think about it.
From any direction, right? Up, down, left, right. All of them are bad.
I mean, it would bring a whole new meaning to deliverance. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Is that sulfur? No, that's poop.
Things could get messy.
Yeah. See how it all comes full circle all the way back to that? Yeah. I will say this. My last thing on that is this, though, that the video I watched and the articles I've read on it, I've not heard the guys that I've listened to. None of them have said, "Oh, we believe 100% that they are demons." But what they have connected them with is the fact that they feel like this is almost like a Bluetooth type thing, where there's a connection between something foreign living in your body that's not supposed to be there, and the possibility of the demons being able to manipulate those things that are living in your body. It's funny, there's these different parasites. When you study it, it's kind of scary because, when you talk about the late night sugar cravings, it's that's what sparked it a lot for me, because I would be like 11 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden I'm like, I need something sweet right now. And it's not because of low blood sugar. I promise you that. Okay. It's whatever was inside me going, hey, I'm hungry, and you're going to go find sugar no matter what it is, and you're going to eat it. And I started thinking more about it. I was like, I'm allowing something that's inside of me that's not supposed to be here dictate to me that I'm going to go get up and go feed it.
Right.
No. And that's where I started researching it even more. And like I said, I started, and I'll be honest with you, once I started doing the parasite cleanses, my sugar cravings went to almost zero. Like I don't have, I mean, of course,
Awesome.
every now and then as a human being, we're going to enjoy something sweet.
That's good.
Yeah, I was not like before. I don't have any more of the late night. Oh, I got to get up and find some Oreo cookies or find something to munch on. I was like, nope. That literally, when I started doing the parasite cleanse, went to net zero, just very little sugar, and that's it. So it's that right there showed me that there was some correlation between the parasites and them controlling. Hey, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I'd really like. Oh yeah, going through the cupboards late at night and trying to find something.
Those parasites got the Greta Thunberg face on it. How dare you?
Yeah.
Thunberg?
We were having a good life in here.
Come over there eating pumpkin seeds, and they're going, no,
not this again.
I wanted Oreos.
All right. So what are your best suggestions for parasite cleansing? I know that there's some really good stuff out there. So there's
trial by fire.
Fire.
I mean, you said effective. I'm just saying it.
All right, safe and effective. How about that?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Now that you clarified.
Yeah. So let's see. Wormwood is a good one.
Yep.
I've heard a lot about wormwood.
Black
Pumpkin
walnut.
seeds. I just said it. Pumpkin seeds are really
seeds,
good.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's even pumpkin and pumpkin seeds are really good for your animals too, to keep them regularly dewormed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Black walnut.
Matter of fact, I have a bag of these right next to me on my desk.
There you go.
That I munch on. So instead of munching on, now I also have a container of these.
Oh, whoa. See, that's where you messed
Come
up.
on, bro. That is counterproductive right there.
You were doing so good.
That's the 1%.
Got
the quantity wasn't even correct.
Yeah. That's the one.
Look, I will tell you, this right here will last me a very long time.
Yeah,
2 or 3 days tops. I mean, I'm breaking records. I'm kidding.
I mean, that used to be an afternoon, you know.
Look, I keep M&Ms in here just so if I get a little bit of a craving. Now, with the weight loss I'm on, because I am going literally to the net zero sugars throughout the day. Sometimes your body's like, hey, you need a little bit, so I'll eat a little bit, and that's it. But I promise you, before hey, let me tell you something. Before I started doing my cleansing, I'd probably eat half of this in one night. It'd be gone. I mean, literally. I mean, I would just now I could eat 4, 5, 10 pieces of these. 30 tops and
the numbers get bigger.
40 max. I'm telling you.
The fish was this.
Right. You can eat fruit too, right?
What's that?
What's that? I've never been to that aisle in the grocery store. You talking about all the colorful stuff? It didn't come in a box. I don't know what to do with that.
What's that?
But yeah, so you said walnut. We said pumpkin seeds.
Soursop bitters has been good for me.
Yeah. I think, what is it? Clover and artichoke. I think were some other ones.
Clover or is it clove?
I think it was clover.
Well, I haven't heard of clover, but I've heard clove is pretty good. I can't do this. I can't do the smell or the taste of clove. It just, ugh.
Well, if you do it in like a capsule, like where it's dried and encapsulated, then it just goes right down. You don't have to worry about it.
Well, and hopefully doing all this stuff on a regular basis and eating clean, and hopefully people are getting to where they're growing their own food and becoming more self-sustaining rather than having to go to the grocery store for everything. That's a big deal. So if we could all get to where we're doing that, and you know what, I know everybody's got a reason why they can't or whatever, but I mean, there are people that live in apartment buildings in New York City, 1-bedroom apartments that are making $100,000 plus a year with growing microgreens in their apartment. So don't tell me you can't have a little garden in your wherever you're at. You know what I mean?
Wait, are you talking about my wallet or food?
I'm talking about your food. Like you can grow stuff. You can grow your own food.
It's like microgreens. I'm working on. I'm trying to get some more green in there. I'm trying.
Hey, real quick.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
My green's a little micro right now.
Exactly.
So here's a quick list of foods that are really good for the parasite cleanse. One is garlic. Of course, we talked about pumpkin seeds, papaya seeds, clove. It has pineapple in here, and I will say I've seen studies of pineapple where they've taken a little petri dish or whatever and had parasites in there, and they squirted pineapple juice in there, and immediately the parasites started dying and actually started dissolving. I've also heard that pineapple is good if you've got too many toxic metals in your body.
Yeah.
That pineapple is really good about actually grabbing hold of those toxic metals and getting it out of your body.
That
Well,
and cilantro and parsley.
yes, cilantro is extremely good for it, but you gotta it's good for detaching, but you've got to have a binder and something that's going to help you flush it out. So
Like a
Right.
3-ring.
cilantro is good. Cilantro is probably the best of all the heavy metal detox things that I know of. But in order to actually get it flushed, so the cilantro will break it loose.
Mm-hmm.
It'll penetrate the brain barrier and remove those heavy metals from the brain, all that kind of good stuff. But you don't want to just break it loose. You want to get it flushed out of the body. So you got to have a carrier. And one of the best carriers for that is coconut oil. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And you can make an awesome snack out of coconut oil. Just mix it 1 part coconut oil, 1 part peanut butter, mix it up, get you some flatbread or some crackers, makes an awesome snack.
Wow.
Okay.
Might be better than my M&Ms.
Maybe.
Yes, absolutely.
1 degree better.
1 degree. So real quick again, so we got wormwood, we got black walnut, we got now on this list. I'd never heard this before, but honey.
I can see that. I mean,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
because I
it's
guess because
antimicrobial, antibacterial. It's got all kind of amazing
Right.
properties about honey.
exactly. So that's a little bit surprising that I didn't mean. And I've never seen that on the list. I don't know how if I'm saying this correctly or not, but barberry,
I'll take it.
Barberry, barberry.
Sounds right.
I don't know. That's
I don't
what's
know. I
in
don't think
here.
I've heard of that one.
That one lifts weights.
The other one that kind of surprised me on the list was I never heard of carrots being good for parasites. I say it has it in here.
Really?
Let
Maybe
me
it's
see
the
if it tells me
vitamins.
why.
Well, I do know that your root vegetables, as long as they're grown properly in the right kind of soil without all the chemicals being forced on them, all of your root vegetables typically are going to pull up minerals and
Oh, I
things a
see.
little deeper in the soil. So there's going to be tons of health benefits from
Right.
those
Well,
things
it
if
says
they're
here,
done
Kyle.
properly.
It
However, root vegetables that have had poison sprayed on them are going to be more toxic for you
Right.
because they
right.
pull in
Yeah,
all
they don't
that
off
stuff.
gas either.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I guess one of the things too, it says that the carrots aid. It says certain foods have natural anti-parasitic properties that can aid in the cleanse. So I guess it's part of the cleansing part of it. But it says that carrots are actually high in vitamins. So I guess that's part of the, not necessarily gets rid of the parasites, but as you're getting rid of the parasites, the carrots give you the vitamins and things that you need for your body.
Well,
So
that's going to create the building blocks for your cells to reproduce what needs to be there to heal the body.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So instead of Gatorade, you get Carrot Aid.
So we got coconuts on the list, ginger. These are things we've heard of. Neem.
Ginger. Neem
Yeah.
oil. Yep.
Neem oil.
Yep. Onions.
Hey, look, neem oil will keep mosquitoes away. Garlic will keep vampires and most people away.
Yeah. Hi.
Onions
How
can do
are
the same.
you?
Hey, just know when you're eating this garlic, all this garlic and all these onions, you are gonna have some funk rush out of every orifice of your body. Stop using that deodorant stuff that
Oh,
your body is supposed to be ridding itself from toxins. It's one of the
exactly.
main
Thank you for
areas.
bringing that up.
Like, stop putting that stuff under your
So,
armpits.
hey, remember earlier, Kyle, I was talking about how we take all these medicines. It kind of like makes our body quit. So what do we do? Everybody's putting antiperspirant underneath their arms and their armpits, and all you're literally doing is blocking the glands that are in your body. Your body's to say, "Hey, we have toxins that need to come out," but all we're doing is locking them in.
And people wonder why they have issues with their thyroid and all that stuff. Hello, their lymphatic system and all that.
Exactly.
Because you're keeping all the toxins in your body.
No
Stop
wonder we're
blocking it.
sick.
Yeah, that
You
roid
look-
be done.
So
Yeah,
we got oregano oil.
Okay.
I love oregano.
Yeah.
I love oregano, man. That's pomegranate, turmeric. Turmeric's one of those. Turmeric does a lot. It isn't just for parasite cleanse. It's
Great for arthritis
inflammation,
and any
all
inflammation. Yep.
yeah. And then it has cucumber seeds in here. Never heard of cucumber seeds being anti-parasitic, but I guess
Yeah, cucumbers are a fruit.
Let's see what it says in here. It says this is also known for its richness in vitamin E, which is a well-known immunity booster. So I guess again, not necessarily getting rid of the parasites, but as you're on the way of cleansing your body, again, like you said, Kyle, you're putting the good things back in,
That's
so
right.
your body can actually heal. So that's all I got on the parasite cleanse food list.
Well, you guys got a list of things to look into. That's for sure.
Yes, and also we need to be looking in the Bible and putting some other good things like the Word of God in your body as well. And with that, we will see you next time. Okay, bye. God bless.
Shalom.